Hello everybody. Okay, let's get started with the next section of the tutorial. Over here, we have 4 different tools. This section is going to be real quick, so we're just going to finish up the tutorial now by following through both of these two sections. The pen tool does a lot of things, most of which you are not going to be able to use right now. So I'll discuss it later and give it probably its own video. The text tool. Very, 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 very simple. Choose a color. Choose a font. Choose a size of the font. Choose a variable for the font. Anti-aliasing method. Anti-aliasing means the little character fuzziness that comes around each one of the little letters or characters that you create. Smoothing it, crispening it, sharpening it, making it stronger, or having nothing. That's all that does. So choose your font. Let's choose something playful, I guess. And type Earth. Yay. Okay. This looks kind of like a hippie thing from the 70s, actually. Alright. Let's make it a little smaller. Whoa. Apparently I didn't type Earth. There we go. Now, just press once on the layer, and you're good. Press V to move it around. Press Command T, or Control T for Windows users. And what this is going to do is open up the free transform window. That means rotating. Yay. Or increasing in size, or decreasing. Quick little note about increasing and decreasing size. Unless you're trying to fit it into a tiny window that is really, really weird shaped, I always suggest only using the width and height dialog boxes at the top, because they will keep it by using a ratio of percentages. You can keep it perfectly intact with the without it being pixelated. So if I want to make it half the size, instead of shrinking it to what I think is half the size, I would make it perfectly identical to its current state of crispness by typing in 50, then pressing the tab key and typing in 50. And now it's perfectly, very still sharp. It's not pixelated at all. Again, move it around. By pressing Command T again and right-clicking, there are a lot of other really cool things you can do. Scale, rotate, and skew we can already use by free transforming. Distort, perspective, and warp are very, very, very cool tools, and I'm going to show you how to use them later. But you notice that we can't use them right now. The reason for that is simply because we need to rasterize our layer. There are 2 different types of images you can use. One is a raster image, and one is a vector image. I'll explain that later as well. So first, right-click, rasterize type. Now it is technically an image. No longer can we type and change around what we said, because we know we want to say Earth. Now, Control-T or Command-T on a Mac. Now we can use them all. Just a quick visual of what it does. Warp completely distorts your image. And you drag and drop, and it shows you like a grid. Press Enter to save it, and there you go. Got a really cool selection. Next tutorial, we're probably going to talk about layer styles, which is this whole window right there. Okay. Moving on, we have our... Let me close this out real quick. Okay, moving on. We're going to talk about, we're going to skip this here because that is something in the future that builds upon other tools that you're not even using. We're going to use the line tool, which is basically more like the shape tool, period. It connects with the pen tool, but only in certain ways you're probably not going to be using. It creates squares, ovals, shapes, polygons, lines, or random shapes that they have a bunch of presets built into Photoshop. Say you want to make a bunny rabbit that is going to be orange. You just drag and drop. And again, you always have to rasterize your layer if you want to do really cool, funky effects to it. There. This is Rabbit Earth. Now, that's pretty much all the shape does. Again, Command T, all the same functions that apply to text. You can do it with any selection, anytime, anywhere. Double click or press Enter, and it removes the little dialog or the little selection box. You're not going to use either of these two. Most of you probably don't even have these two because these are 3D tools, and they have been incorporated into Photoshop CS4, but not before that. As you can see, 3D Rotate and 3D Orbit. The hand tool is kind of like a move tool, but again, it's designed more for 3D, and so you're not really going to be using it. Unless you have CS4, in which case comment me and I can release a video based on that. Zoom tool. Not pressing Command, I'm sorry. The shortcut is obviously the letter Z. Click once, zoom in. Right click, and you can zoom out, zoom in. Print size, which will give you a display preview of what it will look like in a print form. Actual pixels shows you how big the image is. Now, when you click actual pixels, it's actually based on the layer, not on your entire image. So if you click shape 1, right-click actual pixels, it's going to zoom in because I made a pretty big rabbit picture. But you notice how the Earth is kind of pixelated, where the rabbit is super, super sharp. That's because it zoomed in on the rabbit. Fit screen makes it so you can work with it. Fill screen opens it up just a little bit bigger. In this case, the image fits my screen already because it's designed to be a desktop background for Mac. Okay, if you are a Mac user, I can send you a comment or post up a little quick tutorial about the finger tracking touchpad that is used on the new MacBook Pros, which if you have two finger touches, you can rotate the image. You can also zoom in and zoom out without using the zoom tool, but instead just using your two fingers. It's pretty nifty. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on Photoshop Basics. And next time, like I said, we're going to talk about layer styles. All right. See you later.